Good morning, traders. So we're still using the Bill Williams theory and looking at the Dow Jones this morning. Now, I'm still pretty concerned about going short based on what I see. Going long based on what I see here. To me, this is lining up for a short, but there isn't really any signals for a short. So these tails here are just telling us that there are buyers still stepping in. We do have a potential double top at the moment. Yesterday's green bar could be seen as an exhaustion bar to a level, but the problem is that level is not really, how do I put it, not really that strong. So we've got, let me just put them in and you'll see what I mean. So we've got that tail, we've got that tail, and then we have this tail here. So those are kind of my three levels that we have. The next level that we will run into is probably that one. You can see how it lines up there. Okay, now when we look on the lower time frames, you'll see what I mean. We are tagging this level, but nothing else is really happening. So if we look at the 4 hour, sorry, before we get to the 4 hour, just over the day, on the daily, awesome oscillator still below the zero. We're just hovering below the zero at the moment, and our oscillator here is grouped in the overbought territory. So there is, there's a lot of signals here that are warning bells ringing that are saying we are expecting a retracement. And there is a bigger pattern as well, which I'll show you now. I just want to get, let's finish the levels quickly. So if we look at, the different levels, we flirted with the first one for most of last week, and this week we've broken through it twice, and we're now flirting with the next two levels. Okay, there's nothing really here saying short. It's still pointing to a move to the upside, but there is another pattern that's brewing. So let's just get rid of all that noise. Firstly, we've got diversions here on the 4 hour. Okay, you can see we've got a double top, whereas price, so the oscillator is giving us a lower low, and look at the awesome oscillator getting lower, lower, lower. Okay, so this is normally the case when we start talking about a wedge. So there's my wedge. Okay, so you can see we started off with a bang, had a big pullback, and then up, came back to test the bottom, and now we're just hovering on a level and at the bottom of this wedge. So any longs at the moment for me are scalps at the moment. Okay, this 200 moving average on the 4 hour is also kind of what we're flirting with right now. There's no conviction to the move to the upside, and there's also nothing really pointing to the downside. So it's just the different warning bells that are saying to me that we should be looking for a short shortly. Okay, so if we get down to the hour, yesterday was really topsy-turvy. We had a massive move down. Like I said to you in the video yesterday, I'm not really interested in going long at this level. It pulled back quite nicely, sort of almost got to that inside bar. Okay, but you'll be forgiven for having an order in down here and it not getting there, but what it did do was hit this diagonal, and you can see on the lower time frame. So let's just quickly go there while I'm talking about it. You can see on the lower time frames all the way down just before the open, we had our first move down, a little bit of retracement, first move down. This long bar here, a lot of people would have been thought, okay, that's it, we've turned, we're going down, but you had to have your diagonal line drawn in. You can see there it was there, engulfing on the 12 minute, and then we started a little bit of a rally. A little bit of a confused rally if you look at all these tails, but anyway, let's just get back to the hour. So right now we are sort of in a, we're in a wedge, a bigger wedge. We are forming lower highs. Okay, we are still above the alligator. So the reality is the trend is still up ever so slightly, although we are still backwards and forth between the alligator. I'm uncomfortable with pretty much any direction right now until we see something that will give us direction. So the last however many hours is basically from there to where we are now. The last 10 hours has really been a lot of indecision. Okay. Also, you can see the awesome oscillator here creating a lower low. And prices on a double top. Okay, so that's kind of my take at the moment is pretty much a sit on hands. But the trend is still up, so technically we should still be looking for longs, but just not from a level where we are now. You'd rather want to see us pull back to a level. Now, the level that you probably want to see us pull back to, since we are making higher lows, would be this inside tail here. So you want to see us pull back to this area and then another attempt at getting through this level. Now, remember, earnings season is upon us as well, so anything can happen right now. We could get some really good results come out, which would shoot the lights out of the Dow at the moment, and we could get sort of a nice break to the upside, and then a pullback to come and test this level where everything sort of settles down. Okay, so same story as yesterday. I am reluctant to go long at this level. So for me, it would be a case of looking for a short scalp, like this one was here. Okay, and you can see the last couple of days it's been the same. Short, short, short. Even the day before, short. So pre-market short, short, short. Then when the market opens, it's long and long. So I suspect the same thing again today. I don't see any reason that we're going to run away. My concern is because of the level we're at and looking at the indicators at the moment, we could be in a position that this wedge plays out. Okay. So if we stay, so for me right now, if this here turns into a double top, obviously what we need to do is bring this one down. We'll need to break below this point here. So that is 23,862. So that would be the neckline of the double top. And then obviously what you do have after that is a measured move down to there. But that would set the wedge into motion. And bear in mind, even if we do break the wedge, once we find some support, what you're looking for is another long, because it could just turn into a channel. Okay, it's only once you have got a pullback to test the break, and that is successful, and we start moving down again, that you can pretty much have some confidence that the wedge is going to play out. Okay, bear in mind this is a massive wedge, so if we look at it on the daily, you'll see what I mean. It's a massive wedge, and basically what it means is that this initial move down will be repeated. Okay, so get to 30 and to summarize what we are going to look at today. So at this stage, a trend is up. You should be looking for longs, just not at this level. Okay, so we have broken through this little trend line now. Oscillator is sort of grouped in the sell zone. So I suspect the sellers will step in shortly and move this to the downside. So what I'm basically saying is I have a feeling this is a fake out. And a fake out of what, you may ask. Let's just share some of the noise. So there is a bit of a triangle consolidation here, okay, over the last 10 hours. So we've had a breakout to the upside. I definitely have a feeling this is going to be a fake out. This level at the top here is way too strong to be broken in pre-market, so before the US opens. So I'm looking for another move to the downside. Not really sure that I want to play the short either, just because of the bob wire here, all this indecision, all these tails here. I think for me, it's going to be sit on hands until I see something work out. Yesterday's long was stressful enough with, how much was this? 147-point swing in one bar. So this is just way too much stress for me. And then we hit levels, and then we pull back, and then we go back. And so anyway, I would expect us to come back down to this trend line and possibly make another move to the upside. So we've got a bigger wedge, but what this may turn out to be is a bit of a flat top triangle as well. So just get rid of the noise and you'll see what I mean. There's the top of the triangle. Here's the bottom of the triangle. So that is also a possibility. Yeah, so we're just consolidating, and we're going to continue consolidating today. But the reality is we either need a break above, let's just get the weekly level, because those are what's holding us up. So you can see we're kind of flirting at the moment with that level, and there is our next level there. Okay, so we need the convincing break above that, and looking at the daily and the 4 hour, I think we're going to be hard pressed to find that. Okay, so yeah, so I think for me it's still trade with a trend, which is long. Concern I have is it may cost you money today, because it may turn, or it may cost you money tomorrow, but one of these days soon we're going to have a bit of a sell-off. But until that day, the trend is up, so you need to look for longs. Okay, so whatever pullback happens, just get your levels drawn in, especially this diagonal, because clearly this is quite important. So that diagonal is important, and then this diagonal here is pretty important as well. So that's kind of what I would be doing. Wait for the pullbacks and then look for the long. Okay, so that's my view for today, and I just want to close off with the ichimoku. I want to see what's happening here. So flat Kijunsen is ranging on the 30 minutes. On the hour, we've also got flat Kijunsen, but we've got Kijunsen pointing down. Cloud is pretty big, so there's nothing there. We've got the oscillator group the upside, so that is indicating for a short. 3 hour. Actually, the 3 hours a pretty interesting view as well. See all these buyers that are stepping in here, driving price up. So they are still driving price up, and they're driving it off Kijunsen and Kijunsen at the moment. So I just think it's a false hope. Again, flat Kijunsen here, bit of diversions. Cloud is massive, so whatever pullback does happen, I'm not saying it's going to fall to the floor, but I'd just like to see a decent pullback, all the oscillators group the bottom, and then we can get back in on the long. And then the daily. So the daily, we have broken through Kijunsen, but Kijunsen and Kijunsen are not crossing over. They are flat. Oscillators grip the upside. I am expecting a move to the downside pretty soon. Okay, so I think what may be happening here is that investors are waiting for earnings season. So there were a couple that came out yesterday. Some of them were positive, some of them were negative. But I think most people are probably waiting for a general view on the earnings to see what's going to go on. So I think I'll probably do the same. Okay, sorry, I don't want to go as low as 5 minutes, but anyway. But that's my view for today. We should still be looking for longs, but with all these tails and bob wire, I think I may just sit on my hands today and wait for a decent setup on the 4 hour. So what I'm looking for is this oscillator to group to the downside here on the 4 hour. That would give me the indication that we need to look for the long again until we break to the downside below the alligator. So for now, trend is up, and you need to trade with the trend. So long it is, just not from this level. You need to wait for a pullback. Okay, anyway guys, that's my view today. I know it's pretty confusing, but that is the chart. And as I said, more than likely I'll just sit on my hands. When it's confusing like this, I'd rather prefer to stay out of it. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your day. Hope it helps, and I will catch you later. Cheers for now.